G'day golfers, I'm Glen Haynes. Today we're improving golf swing technique and we're highlighting a common error that a lot of club golfers make right from the start of the swing that's costing them power and consistency. We've got a super effective drill that's going to help correct this error, and of course remember our free training guide download. The link is at the end of this video and in the description below. Welcome to Aussie Golf Pros. We're of course talking about the takeaway, and the error that a lot of golfers make is they pull the club on the inside and get the club behind their hands in the takeaway. Now this really robs the golfer of power because there has to be some sort of recovery made from there, either a come over the top or a steepening of the shaft, and these things really do rob the player of power and consistency. Charles Barkley struggles with his golf swing, a legendary, and here's a perfect example of someone that really gets into trouble because of this inside takeaway. Now he's going to have to recover somewhere to get back on plane, so he comes over the top, gets super steep on it, and it's no wonder that he can't commit to his downswing because he has virtually no chance of hitting the golf ball cleanly from there. Now, this might be by accident or might even be a player trying to draw the ball. They feel that they can, if they drag the club on the inside here, they can approach more from the inside, and they might be able to hit that draw from there if they can continue that club on the inside. But in reality, there's going to be some sort of recovery, and quite often it's over the top, and you could very well be slicing it because of your takeaway on the inside. Now think about other sports for a moment. Baseball, you're up here. Tennis forehand, the racket in front of you, and then this rotation here, getting this external rotation, and that is a power move, and we want that power move in the golf swing as well. So in the takeaway, we want the shaft in front of you. We want the club head in front of the hands here. If we get the shaft this way, where the shaft is pointing out to the right for a right-hander, that's when those problems can occur. So having the shaft here at this, a lot of coaches call it P2, the second position in the golf swing where the shaft is parallel to the ground. Now if that shaft is pointing to the right, that's a problem, so we either want it pointing at the target or even a little bit to the left of target for a right-hander. That's the definition of keeping the club in front of you. Now don't be fooled, it's not about getting the arms out in front of you, because what a lot of players try to do, they get the arms out here and then the shaft is still inside. That's still no good. Okay, that's still going to cause some steepness and some problems in the transition and the downswing. So practice here, get to this position here where that shaft is maybe pointing to your belly button a little bit more. As I said, straight at the target's fine, but let's exaggerate it for the time being, especially if you're someone that drags the club on the inside. Let's exaggerate the motion, get the club in front, and then try to shallow it. A lot of golfers, a lot of tour golfers have the backswing plane and the downswing plane on the same path. That's fine, but you'll very rarely see a player on tour go in and then down this way. Maybe a couple in history, Ray Floyd, Craig Parry. You'd really struggle to find many players that do that. The power hitters, clubs in front, shallowing the club and really getting that external rotation of the right shoulder, trail shoulder, and it's just easier to deliver power from that position. So get a short iron. I've just got an 8 iron here, and let's just do it slowly to start with. Getting that loop. We're going to exaggerate this. So just aiming for that 100 sign up there. Strong breeze, so the ball's not going to go very far, but that's okay. In front, and then shallow it. Really overdo it a little bit. Remember, it's a lot to do with what the wrists are doing. It's the wrists that are dragging the club on the inside and having that shaft point out to the right there. It's not really the arm position. So if we can just maintain that wrist position so that the club is in front of the hands, then it's really going to help us to then shallow and deliver that power. Let's really exaggerate it. A little bit of a draw off to the left, and it is easier to draw when you're shallowing that club into the downswing. So if you're slicing, this is going to be a great drill for you to get out of that habit of swinging across and putting that side spin on the ball. One more. In front, shallow it out, and a better shot. Now, sometimes you might need a little bit of help because you can't see it and it's difficult to feel. to video yourself, but here's a super drill that's really going to give you some feedback on where that club is in the backswing and downswing. So I'm using a tour stick. I've managed to get into the ground just. It's very firm. Got the head cover on there, that's for safety. If you hit the alignment rod with your golf club, then you can easily damage your club, and we don't want that. Now remember, this is about exaggeration and feedback. So we really do need to loop the club quite a lot in order to miss the stick and the head cover there. So we're going to do this very slowly to start with, and that's the point. If you just swing at normal speed, there's a very good chance that you're going to hit that stick either in your takeaway or in the downswing. And don't worry that you wouldn't loop the club this much when you're out in the golf course. Remember, this is a drill and we're encouraging that motion, and then we reduce a little bit when we're out there playing. So I've got a little tee there just to make sure that I have the ball in the right position each time. So if you notice, to that 100-meter marker there, to the ball, and the base of the stick is a straight line, and that's how you set this up. The stick is at an angle away from me here, and we want to try to angle it the same as the shaft setup. It doesn't have to be exact. And the sticks are around about a yard away from me. Nice and slowly, and exaggerate. No idea? And then as you get better at it, just gradually speed it up. And if you hit the stick, just stop. So a little bit more speed and a little bit of feedback there. Maybe the wind blowing the head cover around, that's okay. Just exaggerate it a bit more. Exaggerating that takeaway, keeping the club head in front of the hands. You probably need, if you're used to taking that club inside, you might need 50 shots at that speed before you can really speed it up. But that's okay. Drills are all about ingraining something that's new and learning a new motion. Let's try one a little faster. If you're going inside and then over like this, you imagine hitting a tennis shot that way, in here, and there's no power there, you're just shot putting the ball rather than being able to release it and generate some club head speed and some consistency through impact. Just looking back at the video then, I could see that the tour stick wasn't quite set up perfectly. It was a little bit steep. Doesn't matter. It was there as a barrier, as a reference to encourage an exaggeration of that loop, getting the club in front and then underneath. But get some feedback. Try to get the tour stick in the ground on the same plane as your shaft at the setup position. And I'll do better next time. Now, if it's power you're after, then you also need to learn how to generate some ground force. So watch this video next. Your free training guide just here and in the description below. Thanks so much for watching. We look forward to your company next week. Are you the best golfer you can be?